Hello, hello, peeps. And I am back here in Indonesia today to check out the ceremony for the 250 tree green belt in Indonesia. And what an auspicious morning it is, because the trees planted here all this week and next week will leave such a legacy, in terms of the people doing the park run every Sunday. On Saturdays, it will be such a shady spot. There's such a fantastic avenue that's actually being built up here on the back of Rose Park. But it's only fair to talk to the people that's actually involved in this project. And there's several of them in no particular order. Gracing this event this morning was none other than Razia Wadi, Miss Earth, South Africa. Razia, welcome to Lenasia, your hometown girl. And of course, the new green belt for Lenasia here at Rose Park. Talk to us. What was this morning like for you? What does it feel like as Miss Earth South Africa to be part of a green initiative that's resident-led and community-driven?
I think for me, what inspired me the most as a young person was to see how many little ones were here today and how much of fun they had, just being part of the process and planting trees with us. I work in communities all over the country, and my aim is to teach young people to love their environment, because if we expect our youth or our kids to love their environment, we can then expect them to protect it, because you can only really preach a love for environment, and that's really how you can get youth involved. And as you've said, we've started a legacy today, and basically having these young people with us here today, we're basically saying to them, we've done this, now we're handing this over to you, and it's going to be your duty to take care of these trees and take care of this new green belt we've created for you and for future generations. So for me, as Miss Earth South Africa, I was just, what really stood out for me was the number of young people that were here today and really dug their hands into this amazing project, planting trees, community spirit. I mean, it was amazing.
Well, so awesome. Well said there, Miss Earth South Africa, Razia Wadi. Such a legacy being left here. And as you can see, the work is ongoing. City Parks are currently on site. They're helping with the development of this project. And of course, as you can see right now in the back of us, there were many other people present here from the park run earlier this morning, and City Parks in full action. So we're talking city, and let's get over to none other than Zarina Motala. There's going to be some truck noises coming behind us, so we'll bear with that. But Zarina, what a fabulous initiative that's residents-led, and of course, you guys have been lobbying to City Parks and ministerial communities to support this project. And a lot of the funding came from private citizens and the community. That needs to be said and that needs to be known. But nothing happens without, so-called government support. Talk to us in terms of some of the background work that's been done to get this initiative going. I know you guys were waiting for some permits, etc. But Zarina, tell us about your involvement and what this means as a legacy, of your stewardship here in Indonesia.
Thank you so much, Amit. I think this has taken a long time. We would have hoped it got done sooner. However, throughout the process with lobbying, we were notified that they needed a way leave, and that took a bit of time. And like I said, sometimes the wheels of government turn very slowly, but I think the resilience of the organizers and the compassion and this entire project about planting trees and greening lands is what really, I think, gave me the edge as well. And tapping on the doors of Johannesburg City Parks and Zoo, I think was very easy. This is horticulture is part of what they do, Amit. And they came to the party very quickly. So planting the 200 trees, I think, was an enormous task. But thank you to the entire team and to the community and the sponsors. I think this could have never been done without you. So I think we got to learn something, that we got to lobby, we got to go to the right people, and we just have to be patient, but we got to be resilient. And to everybody that has contributed to this project, we leave a legacy. This park, if just historically, if I can say, was done, a legacy project left by the former councillor Prema Naidu, who was an activist and been a councillor for about more than 20 years. And it was opened by Dr. Ram Saluji, Isuchiva. So we leave a legacy. But I think for our younger generations and all of us, Ms. Earth, and we all know about climate change, we have to contribute to greening our areas in every possible way that we can. I look forward to working with communities across Lenasia and Joburg that would like to get involved in similar initiatives, because I think we really owe it to our environment. We owe it to the young people of what kind of environment and green space we do leave behind. So thank you to everybody involved. It was great working with the team. Thank you.
So Zarina, you make a valid point there, right? I mean, in order to move things forward, I think as residents and as communities, we can't sit back and say, oh, waiting for government, waiting for government. These things work with public-private partnerships, and to see, resident-led initiatives supported by government is probably the only way that we can turn things around in the future. What do you say to that?
Absolutely. And I think, and I keep saying that, government has certain responsibilities. I can talk from local government, but all levels of government spheres have a responsibility. But we need to hold our government accountable. But we need to show the energy and the commitment to partner with government. And only in that way are we going to achieve. I think government recognizes the contribution by communities. And this again is one such at a local level for this one department that we can do. I want to say, Amit, an extremely important point by Joburg City Parks official. We have IDPs across Johannesburg. And what I find most of the time, our communities come, we complain, but we don't say what we want in the IDP. What is it that we would like to see a change in our community? So I'm making an appeal to our communities. When the IDPs advertise, please do come and use your time and energy to lobby government and say, we'd like to see A, B, C, and D. And that way, from us as public reps, we will lobby and we will continue to talk to government and make sure we get the kind of budget that's allocated. Remember, we're running an entire city. Here I'm only talking about Region G. Joburg is big, but Region G is huge. And I believe we have what we have in Region G with enormous green space, sports facilities, and things that we must lobby for and lobby the city of Johannesburg.
There we go. That's PR Councillor Zarina Motala. And I'm going to switch over now to something different, because one of the key users of this facility every weekend or every Saturday morning is none other than the park runners. And they play a pivotal role in ensuring that, the space transformed into something more greener, with something more shadier for the runners and walkers. And if we look behind my shot right now, you can actually see they're actually developing. Razia, how many meters is this pathway, would you say?
This is over a kilometer.
So about a 1 kilometer pathway. It's not going to match the San Salazar right now, but hopefully in 10 years time, when these trees going to go big and strong, they're probably going to result in a phenomenal walking path that's not just here for park runners, but for the entire community to enjoy. But two ladies, instrumental in Rose Park, Lenasia, and driving that initiative every weekend is none other there than Natasha and Razia. Razia, talk to us. I mean, in terms of Park Run and this initiative, how is this association working? And also, what does it mean for your park runners that come here every Saturday morning, week in, week out, to basically do this walk?
The park run starts every Saturday at 8 o'clock. In summer, it gets very, very hot. So as these trees grow, it will have some shade for our runners. It will provide some nice shade and coolness. But remember, at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning in summer, you're looking at over 20-something degrees. So it will be very beneficial for our runners.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. Now, someone involved in the logistics every weekend on Park Run as well is Natasha Makkan here. And tell us about some of the activities that goes on for people that are unaware of what it takes to do a Park Run on the back end in terms of logistics every Saturday morning, hosting it for all the runners that come here.
Thanks for having me here again today to speak. So what we do is a week before we set up for the actual event on a Saturday morning, it's a week long of work. So what we do is we set up volunteers, we coordinate their volunteers, and we set up their roles for them to partake in the event on a Saturday morning. So what we do is we confirm how many people are available and we delegate their roles to them. And what we do is on a Saturday morning, we'll have a volunteer briefing. After the volunteer briefing, we have lovely warm-ups for our runners. So before they start off the event, they can partake in warm-up events.
Oh, I heard warm-up. So what are you doing in terms of that warm-up? It sounds fun and exciting.
So it's basic, simple warm-up exercises, such as knee highs,
jogging on the spot, and some lunges. So that's just some of the exercises that we do have for our runners.
So it's not like
So
going back to PE class, but a bit
no,
lighter,
it's
right?
not. It's not burpees. It's not extreme CrossFit. It's mild warm-ups just for everyone to take part, for all ages, and it's easy. So this is a nice warm-up for them to start the 5-kilometer walk, run, or jog.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. Natasha, thanks for giving us some insights there. Appreciate it. Razia, appreciate what you guys are doing to keep Lenasia Rose Park Run, going and every weekend to make sure that this thing's happening here. And just for the record, guys, she's wearing lipstick today. So somebody instrumental in this project, of course, Doc Sirat is not with us this morning. He's on call this morning. But of course, representing this so-called green project from a community perspective or a resident perspective, Tayyiba, talk to us. I mean, I've seen you in the week with your gumboots and spades and everything else, and now we're back. But just looking behind you, it is such a fantastic looking pathway that's going on. Talk to us about what was involved here, and again, just to repeat for those that didn't watch the first video, what does this mean as a legacy for Lenasians?
Okay, there was a spark that most of Lenasia, I'm sure, didn't know it existed. It was a masterpiece waiting to be touched. And when we started the park run, we realized what a gold mine we're sitting on. And there's so much we can do with this. And, because park run has people of all ages, so this initiative is not only for park run, it's for communities to come and do their daily walks and to come and do their bike. The kids can ride their bikes across. But anyway, every time somebody, young or old, crossed the finish line, they were so happy that they did, but they complained that it's very hot. So instead of complaining, we thought, let's do something about this. And we brought up the project of planting trees. We started off with just asking for 50 trees. And within a day, we collected money for 150 trees. And within a month, we collected enough for 250 trees, which is amazing. We had to put a stop to it because we were overwhelmed. It was the first time we've done something like this. This is probably we will never benefit. Our kids and generations to come will benefit. But it's heartwarming. Your heart smiles as you're going through these avenues of just beautiful trees.
No, absolutely. And I mean, looking right into the distance, I mean, just to give people a sense, I mean, this is just one of the parts. I mean, there's a dual part on the other side that's containing another set of probably 80 or 100 trees or something. So in total, a 253 green belt coming for Lenasia. Community-led, resident-led, but of course supported by city parks and zoo and of course local, ministerial committees and provincial committees. Lots of technical work that goes on behind the scenes for those that's not aware, but that doesn't happen without the perseverance of community stalwarts and workers like this. Tayyiba, we are thankful for what you guys are doing here. And yes, as Warren Buffett once said, right, somebody's sitting in the shade today because somebody planted a tree a long time ago or something like that. But I'm going to pull in one more guy just to chat to us. But before we do that, Tayyiba needs to close off.
I'd like to say we could not have done it without city parks. We could never have planted 250 trees within a week without the help of their machinery, their workmanship. They were so as enthusiastic as I was. And that was a very surprising factor for me, is because we sometimes give up on our public sector. We think that they can't do much for us. But if you don't ask, they won't do. You need to put your foot out there. Ask them. They've given us all the support that we need. Thank you so much, City Parks.
No, that's fantastic to hear. So Jenny Moodley and team from City Parks and Zoo, if you're watching this, so you're going to hear this, a great gratitude expressed to you guys from the residents of Lenasia, and in particular, the greening team that's just volunteers here. So let's just get some closing comments from you, Tayyiba.
So another thing is I have to thank Yazid Sirat, Dr. Yazid Sirat, who was the most instrumental gem for this project. He, from the beginning, we planted the seed in our heads from last year, January, and we spoke about it, and he made all this happen. He's behind the scenes, but he's amazing, and things just worked out for us. And thank God, we have to thank God every day, because this is a bounty from him and a gift from him that we could do this together. But thanks, Yazid.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Green Fingers himself. And I recall in the week chatting to him, I mean, he was going through all of the species of trees and all of these kind of things that we're doing here. So he's got all the technical stuff behind the things. And unfortunately, Yazid is on call today. so he wasn't able to join us. But what a fantastic morning for Laonesians, and what a landmark. Let's just get some closings here from Razia and from Natasha. Any closing comment from you?
We just want our community to look after our beautiful, we call it our rose tree garden here, and use it nicely, carefully, and let's keep it for our future generations.
Phenomenal. Natasha, closing comment from you?
We look forward to hosting the whole of Leonesia every Saturday at 8 o'clock for Park Run.
That's your absolute park run champion right there. Let's just get a word quickly in from Bhavik. He's also with the park run team here, and of course, busy every Saturday, every weekend. Bhavik, tell us about your role in park run and what's involved behind your work as a volunteer.
Well, we try to. I'm just as an average volunteer, just as everyone else. We've had so many other volunteers on our team that are so dedicated, and I appreciate each and every single one of my colleagues that are here on a weekly basis. So I mainly just take the role of a pacer. That's just the guy that really shows you the route, and he's just basically the guy in front, if you will. But like I said, every volunteer is dedicated. We're all here on a weekly basis, and it's just a phenomenal atmosphere and group of people to be with on a weekly basis. Yeah.
Oh, that's phenomenal to hear. So one of the guys that's disappeared into the pathway right in the back there is none other than Yusuf Dokrat. And he's also behind the scenes and instrumental. Tell us about Yusuf's role in terms of Park Run and this green project.
Yusuf's really our knight in shining armor with us in promoting pivotal on a weekly basis, updating our park runs, really marketing every single new initiative that we have with our park runs. And with regards to this green project, he's really been pivotal. We appreciate him a lot. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, we end off on a positive note because the water tanker truck has just arrived. And as you can see, they're making sure that these trees get the initial nourishment they need. And it will continue, all throughout the planting process. But the nations, if you're in the area, come check it out. Advisable to come in groups. But preferably come on Saturday mornings for the park run and just come and take a cruising walk. There's no pace that's required. Park run are quite lenient about that, and that will start your process to continuing on park runs every weekend. So thanks for watching. Thanks for following. I'll catch you on the other side of this, peeps. Ciao.